Hello!
Hello!
And welcome back to episode 2 of Just Dykin Around. I'm Eden.
I'm Jackie.
I know I clicked
We're
on the
such
wrong thing.
professionals. We're so good at this. Well, while you're looking for your first story, I just kind of wanted to thank everybody who watched our first episode. I know some of my friends did, so I just really appreciate the support.
Thank you to all of Jackie's friends who watched this.
All of my friends.
And also, I have a few people who watched it on my behalf as well, so thank you very much. So the first story is in r/relationship advice. It's by Throwaway Usual Bend 8. The title is How Do I, 34 male, Tell My Sister, 32 female, Not to Stay at My House? My sister has come to visit my state with her husband multiple times, and they usually stay at my house for at least part of their trip. I've been very accommodating, allowing them to stay for nearly a week and lending my vehicle to them for their ski trips, which is a big deal to me. Last time she came, we got in a big fight because she wasn't spending much, in parentheses any, time with us and our newborn. This came to a head when we had plans for dinner one night, and 1 hour before dinner, she asked if she could take my car to go see a friend, which means she would then skip our plans, but she didn't even mention them or ask if that aspect of it was okay, just if she could use the car. When she comes to visit, they save the optimal days, the weekends, to see the brother-in-law's family. They never prioritize us. To some degree, I understand because we have an infant child and we aren't really doing much, but I do expect them to make plans with us and spend some time together if they're going to stay a whole week at our house. We also had a fair amount of bickering because of other smaller things, like assuming she could use our vehicles, not asking ahead of time, not cleaning dishes, etc. Using the car is a whole other thing, but like if you're staying with someone and like you're using their space and you're using their dishes, like that's just being a good person.
Yeah, it's common courtesy. Yeah, it's common courtesy to clean up after yourself. Like,
right, exactly.
I mean, you know that I have a sore spot. There's a sore spot for that with me and my family members who stay here, but the sister just feels entitled because it's free lodging for them. She just assumes that she gets to do all this stuff and use the vehicle, use the car. And then I think because they're staying there, they feel like they don't have to spend additional time with the brother, which, doesn't make any sense.
When someone opens up their home to you to like stay overnight especially for an extended period of time, like a whole week, I feel like it's common courtesy to, not to spend time with them, but to cook dinner for them, one night that week. It doesn't have to be like a tit for tat thing, but just some token, some indication of like appreciation and gratitude, and also valuing them as people. He continues, my sister hates committing to plans and has historically been flaky. Some of her friends have told me they've had the same issues with her. So now she's asking to stay at our house for 5 days, all weekdays, since they are coming in for a bachelor party and to ski. She told me up front she doesn't want to commit to any plans because of what happened last time. I already told her no a few months ago, but now she's playing dumb and asking if those dates work. That is extremely manipulative.
It's like gaslighting adjacent.
Yes. Sort of. He asks, am I in the wrong for wanting to tell her to stay elsewhere? As I type this out, I feel pretty justified in my decision. Yeah, dude. Yeah. More importantly, how do I say no? I would really love to be able to tell her the reasons, but I'm exhausted from years of trying to reason with her, so I feel like I should just be vague at this point.
You can't be vague. You can't be vague in a situation like this because she's just going to keep doing it. So in this situation, you have to be direct and you have to be like straightforward and like explain exactly why she can't stay, because otherwise, like, she's gonna make herself the victim no matter what you do. If you have like legitimate reasons as opposed to being like vague about it, then she's just gonna ask again. If you're direct and you say like, no, you can't stay here because you don't clean up after yourself, you don't spend time with us when you're here, so it's like you're just treating us like a hotel. There's no point in even saying anything because she's just going to keep trying to manipulate you and use you. So
yeah, if you give her any wiggle room, she's going to exploit that and like wiggle her way back in. So I agree. Honesty is the best policy, and I think this applies to like most situations. It's like if you have a family member or someone you're in a relationship with where you don't feel like you can be honest with them, you have to ask yourself whether that relationship is really worth it, whether that's really a healthy dynamic.
Even if it's a family member. Like if it's a family member that's still like not benefiting your life in any way or making it worse, or just like, it's tough when it's family, but it's also like if it's getting to the point where it's becoming like a toxic relationship, then you kind of have to think about yourself and your family first.
Okay, this one's a short one. This one is on r/actual lesbians by Fire Wyvern 4. Title is Question About Dating Apps. I asked my friend if I should try a dating app like her to find a partner because I'm starting to go kind of crazy. But she said that a dating app probably isn't what I'm looking for. I'm mostly looking for a committed relationship, and I've heard great things about her, but I wanted to come here to make sure.
I chose this one because of how we met.
Yes.
And to show that like dating apps do work, unfortunately. Like, well, not unfortunately, but like for me, unfortunately, because I was so against them for such a long time. Because I had tried like OkCupid at first, and then I just hated it. And then I also tried her, and I tried another one that was very strange. I can't remember the name of it, but it was the one where it's like you don't have a profile, you don't have any pictures or anything. It's just like people post stuff, and then you kind of interact with people's posts. I forgot what it's called. I think it starts with an L.
Yeah, I had an account on that too. I was on it for like 2 minutes, and then I was like, this is not for me, and I closed it out and deleted it. But yeah,
that was the one that I was on for 8 hours, and then it was like, nope, this is too weird. Like one person messaged me, and it was just like, okay, I can't do it. This is embarrassing. The only reason that I joined it was because Sara Ramirez said that they were on it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna find the celebrity. Like, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. There's no way.
Amazing.
But yeah, then I was on those for like 8 hours and then I uninstalled them immediately, just because it was just like the worst experience. And then I can't remember, it was a couple months later, I was like, nope, I'm actually gonna try, because one of my friends had actually, I don't know if they're gonna watch this podcast, but one of my friends had found somebody through, I think it was her. What other ones are there? Because there's her, there's OkCupid, there's
Tinder, obviously, which I would not recommend for this particular person. I never made a Tinder account, so maybe I shouldn't speak on it. But from what I've heard about Tinder,
those always felt like more for hookups to me. Like, I don't know. Like, people do meet like partners through Tinder, but like at first it just seems like very casual. See, I think my friend did find their partner through her. And then you and I found each other through OkCupid. So it's like, it's all about timing. And it's all about like just being patient. Because when I was, before I had met you, I had gone through every single person. I'd swiped through every single person on OkCupid in like, I think it was a 300-mile radius. Like, no, like, you've gone through everybody. The only thing you can do is increase your radius to like everywhere, to anyone in the world, in the entire world. And I was like, no, no, I'm not going to do overseas again. I can't do that. When you had swiped on me, it was just exciting for me because like I had been talking to a couple people, and it was just like some of the conversations ended after like a couple messages. Some of them, there were messages like every 5 days, and it's like, this is not sustainable.
I met my first girlfriend I met on Tumblr, and then we were together for 4 years. And so like my OkCupid account that I'd had from when I thought I was bisexual, the account was there, but I had like deactivated it or whatever because I was like in a relationship with her. And so then when we ended things, I immediately just got back on the apps. And then I ended up meeting someone on her who I dated for like a short period of time, like a few months. We kind of realized, like you do, like, you'll hang out with someone for a bit and you'll realize, oh, we're not quite a total match, and so then we ended things. Personally, I've had positive experiences with both her and OkCupid. Focus on just getting to know people, be genuine, be honest about who you are, what you're looking for.
If it's like a kind of a blank profile, then it's just like somebody's just looking at your looks, basically, through your pictures. And so if it's not about you, it's about how you look.
Exactly.
And so it's just like they're physically attracted to you, but like it might not mean you have anything in common. Like maybe you're not compatible in any other way, which is not beneficial if you're looking for a serious relationship like this person is.
Yeah.
The reason why like you and I worked is because I don't speak, but you do. And so like, although I did message you first, which I'm very proud of, then like the conversation that we had, like the first day that we were talking, it went on for hours, because we were just able to, talk about all kinds of things, like our interests and, things that we liked. And like we were trying to actually get to know each other as opposed to like, how are you?
Like,
I'm
how was your
good.
day?
How are you?
Yeah.
How was your day? Although I did start saying like, how is your week going?
Okay, well, as a very first message, that's fine. But if you're like 10 messages in and you're just like, how was your day? Like, there should be more. Okay, this ties into, let me see if I can find it, not to like jump ahead. But there is another relevant story that I wanted to read next, so we can jump into that. This is from r/actual lesbians, and the username is disgusting73.
Disgusting!
The title is How to Stop Being Scared of Women. So I'm 17, female, and I really like women. I think about them all the time, but I'm so scared to go up to one every time. I'm just embarrassing and awkward. We all are. It's fine.
It doesn't matter what age you are. You're always going to be awkward around women,
45.
around pretty women. I'm going to be like in my 60s and still like my brain's still going to short circuit around pretty women. You and I are gonna be in the old folks home, and we're gonna have like a nice orderly or a nice nurse, and she'll just be like, pretty.
I'm gonna be elbowing you, and they'll be like, "Go get her, tiger."
In my walker, I'm coming to get you.
She continues, I'm scared I'm being a creep or creeping women out, and I don't know when someone is lesbian or not, so I'm kind of stuck. And then she adds the like crying emoji. First of all, mood. Get ready for a lifetime of just being flustered around.
Are they a lesbian, or is it just fall season?
Exactly. Well, that's the other thing too, like seeing someone hot and not knowing if they're sapphic. And just in general, like seeing someone who you find attractive and not knowing if they're going to like you back. Like that's a universal experience regardless of orientation. Like that's just part of being human. I don't know if this might help, but like in your mind, maybe at first approach it like getting to know them in like a friendly way. Because I feel like a lot of times, especially in our culture, when we approach someone with like romantic intentions, there's like this extra pressure on the interaction. We don't need to be putting that on ourselves. Like we can just find someone attractive and then just get to know them.
One of the comments said something about like, have like LGBTQ like paraphernalia or merch or something like that, like pins or something, on your person or on like your backpack or something like that, just to show. But unless you're in like a conservative area, obviously, like also look for that on other people. It's hard because if you don't know, then it's like you don't want to seem predatory. Wow, I can words. It's another thing, like also because like that's such a stereotype of lesbians, also like a negative stereotype that we're predatory and we're like, we just want to convert all the women. And also if you're like, because this person's 17, so they're probably still in high school, and it's like going to be even more difficult to kind of to see, because not everybody's going to be out or comfortable being out at that age. So I think, yeah, the best thing is probably to just be friendly. Just, just get to know people as friends, or, and then get to know them. And then once you build that trust between them, then you can kind of like, give more information like about your sexuality or like how you feel about things, and see if they feel the same way or if you have that in common. But yeah, like just going in right in there like, hey, I like you. It's just, it's a bit bold.
I definitely agree. And then also there's a lot of pressure on like teenagers and young adults to like find a partner. Like we didn't meet until we were like in our 30s. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And my first relationship wasn't until I was 23, so it's like,
Exactly, right. I didn't get my first girlfriend until I was 27. That's 10 years older than this person. So don't feel like you have to find the love of your life right now, because even if you do, the love of your life right now at 17, chances are they're not going to be the love of your life in like 5-10 years. Focus on yourself. I know it's so cliche, but like it is true. Like focus on yourself, focus on finding things that you love. And then finding community. And then even just finding community is going to help you feel less isolated. And it's going to help you feel supported. And you're going to get some of that support that you currently might be trying to find through a partner. But like, even if you do meet the love of your life, they're not going to be able to fulfill every emotional and social need you have, because that's not how relationships work. Like you need a support system. You need a community outside of a romantic partner. Something that I've done before, try to find a way to reference Girl in Red or Haley Kiyoko or like a non-binary actor or like a non-binary musician, like reference. So you're just talking about your musical taste, but if they know who you're talking about, they're probably queer. You know what I mean? Even like books, like they're like
messed up.
Yeah, so like you could be like, oh, like
I read this book recently.
Or... Yeah, oh, exactly. Like you can just kind of like pepper it into the conversation of like, yeah, I've been getting more into reading lately. The last book I read was One Last Stop. Do you know of it?
Start talking about some queer stuff, and they're kind of like, then then
exactly.
then you'll know.
How would I sum up? I'm gonna cut most of this out. I would sum up by focusing on yourself, on what you like to do, and like figuring out who you are and what you would want to bring to a relationship. Focus on building community, connecting with other people, not just to find someone to date, but just to find connection and find community. And remind yourself that no matter how hot someone is, they've been rejected. We've all been in that situation where we see someone hot, we go up to them, we respectfully pursue them, they turn us down, and it sucks, and it's just a universal human experience. Don't take yourself too seriously. When you meet the right person, your approach is going to be attractive to them. Just like when we were dating, like I found your quietness like intriguing. I like, you know what I mean? Like
yes. And you... yes, my smoldering silence.
Your Scorpio rising. And you found the fact that I never shut up ever endearing. The right person is going to see who you are and be like, I'm into it. All right, the next story is...
Ma'am, I need you to behave.
/true off my chest. From username, It's Falling OMG. I'm worried about my girlfriend cheating on me after she asked to open the relationship, and I feel awful. I've been feeling like shit lately, and I don't really feel comfortable talking to my friends about this. I'm hoping I can get some advice on how I should move forward. For context, when I, 28 male, met my girlfriend, 23 female, she was definitely curvier than most. I decided to give her a chance. I don't
Yeah, when I read this story, that sentence just made me like stop and be like, wow, like you're giving her a chance. Like,
right.
Imagine being like seeing somebody who may not be like your normal type or whatever, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll give her a chance. Like, what are you? Why?
Like, what are you doing? Are you that like? Oh, you're gonna bless her with the chance to date you. Like, sir, what are you bringing to the table?
And
anyway,
it really makes me want to see photos of these people, like to see what kind of a catch they are. Like, are they like neckbeard milady types who are just like not lookers themselves. It's like what on earth like possesses you to look at a person and just think, oh, they're gonna benefit from dating me. I'm the prize. I'm giving them a chance. I'm the best person ever. Like I'm
like not only am I a prize, but I'm also generous because I'm blessing them with the opportunity to date me. Anyway,
yeah.
So he continues. I had a close friend who had been cheated on by a very skinny and conventionally attractive woman. So I thought that by dating someone who is less conventionally attractive, our relationship would be more secure.
My dude. My man.
My dude in Christ.
It does not matter what a person looks like. If they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. It doesn't matter if they're skinny or not. Like,
right. That's not imagine
how many brain cells are in your head to think, oh, if I date an uglier person, they're not gonna cheat on me. Like, no, they're gonna cheat on you because you're a douchebag who doesn't know how to treat women.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
they're gonna cheat on you because you have the personality of a wet sock and you don't appreciate the women around you.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Okay. Don't get me wrong, I still found her quite pretty, but her weight just made me feel a little more ready to re-enter the dating scene. No. Over the years, I started doing more physical activities with her. I started taking her on walks. I love how he says taking her on walks.
Taking her on walks. Come on, girlfriend, it's time to go on our walkies. Like, oh my god. Like, are you dating a person or do you have a pet? Like, what? I took her on walks.
Next time I'm visiting you, let's go walkies.
Time to go walkies. And like, I'm not into that, but like, you're gonna have to hold up a leash. That's not one of my kinks, but
do I need to get you a harness, a leather harness?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Take her on walks. Jesus Christ.
He continues, we got into playing squash, and recently we've been doing weight training together. In the past 3 years, she has lost over 60 pounds. Good for her, by the way.
That's good for her. Like, yeah. I hope she's doing it for her, not for you, though.
Exactly. He says, doing these activities not only helped our health, but strengthened our relationship. They would have if you weren't a piece of shit. Yeah, exactly. They would have strengthened their relationship if you were, a half-decent human being and not the human equivalent of a blobfish for personality. Recently, I got tipped off by a friend that he saw my girlfriend with another guy. You know what? It's what she deserves. Good for her.
Good for her.
I confronted my girlfriend about it, and she admitted that ever since she has been getting more attention from other guys, she found it hard to stay solely with one person. I don't think it's this, I mean, not to speak for her, but I don't think it's so much the one person thing. I think it's I think you're the problem. I think she's found it hard to stay with a person who clearly doesn't appreciate her when she's getting attention from men who, chances are would be better partners than you. She claims that she never did anything but talk with this other guy, but still apologized for not telling me. She then asked if I was interested in a polyamorous relationship. She sent this over text last night, and I don't know how to respond. I don't know how I feel, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to be in a poly relationship, but now I'm worried she might cheat on me anyways. What should I do? Let her go. You never deserved her. But the only difference is that now she's starting to recognize that you don't deserve her.
I guess she should thank you for, like, making her realize her worth, for one.
Exactly.
By being with you.
Exactly.
You trophy of a boyfriend. Yeah, like, a lot of these comments are saying, like, once a polyamorous or an open relationship is kind of suggested, then it's kind of already game over sort of thing. If it's not something that they've talked about or opened up about from the get-go, like, I'm polyamorous.
Yeah. If they're not both equally interested in it. Like, if it's something that both people are like, hey, we want this equally, then sure.
If it's one person who's, like, really into it, and the other person's just going along with it.
Yeah.
Wait, that sounds like one of my past relationships.
Well, are you still in that relationship?
That's a story for another time. No, I am not.
So there you go. Your own personal experience validates your own point.
So let her go, dude.
Like, let her go.
She's looking elsewhere.
Yeah. Let her go, and then you take a look in the mirror and sort yourself out. Because
your own insecurities about yourself or whatever past relationships, past traumas that you have, like, you can't put that onto somebody else and be like, oh, I'm gonna date this ugly girl because she won't cheat on me. Like, that's not how that works.
No.
It seems like, once they were together, then it's like, oh, we're in a committed relationship now, so maybe I can start working on her and make her look the way I want her to look. But then once that happens, then it's like, she's out.
No, it's normal to, like, be in a relationship with someone and be like, hey, we're both working on being better at spending our money, being better at budgeting, or we're both working on our health, or we're both working on improving in some way. But it shouldn't be like this, like, weird power balance, like, oh, I'm better than you, I'm hotter than you because XYZ. It's just like we all have things that we're working on. And so like either we're both working on this together, or like this is something that you struggle with more than I do. So I'm going to be here for you and support you through that. Just like I have things I'm struggling with that are not really a struggle for you. So you're going to support me through that. It should be a team. It shouldn't be like this, like, well, I'm hot and you're not. And so you should get hotter for me. You know what I mean? Like that's not,
yeah.
That's not how you relationship. To end on a cute little wholesome story, this one is under r/wholesome by the username Solo Peerless. They posted a photo of a letter that was taped to like the outside of a window so the people inside the house can read the letter. It says, "Dear neighbor, this is going to seem ridiculous, but I thought you should know that my dog, who lives next door at," they give the number, "with me, is madly in love with your cat and has been for probably 6 months. 3 times a day, he puts his paws on our railing to look at him/her in your windowsill. Now that you have potted plants there, he is heartbroken, but keeps looking for your cat every time. Maybe your plants could switch to a different window? From your neighbor and her adoring dog." And then there's a comment by OK Day 8930 that says, "There was a part 2 to this. The neighbor moved the plant and the cat was back in his window spot. I remember there was a sign he posted in the window that said something like, quote, 'for true love.'"
Oh, that's very cute.
Very cute.
I don't know what it is about like cross or interbreed or crossbreed friendships that just make my day.
Yeah.
Like I love them. Like seeing two types of animals that are just best friends. Like I don't know.
If you know of any cute interspecies relationships, please feel free to share that story below, and so then we can have just a little sequence of cute stories, cute wholesome stories. We're gonna post new episodes every Wednesday, and thank you for following and subscribing and liking and all the fun things. Okay, bye.